To my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. There are no victims over here. You've been warned. Stop your whining. When you have one of those horror stories and you come to me with it, I'm going to tell you, I told you so. But before I get into that, let me say that I want to send out my sincerest condolences to the family of Charlie Kirk. And anybody that's been following me knows that, I don't know Charlie Kirk, but I certainly didn't agree with a lot of his views on black folks. But I do have empathy. I do have sympathy for his family because I know what they're going through. I felt that before. It's surreal when somebody close to you dies. Certainly is murdered. And sudden death is the worst death of them all. You're reeling. And then you have to face reality. You go to the funeral home and they ask you, you got to pick out a casket. And they say, well, bring us the clothes you want us to, present him in. And then you have to make out all the program and all of that. I've done that before, man. It's devastating. I had a nephew, he was 16, he got killed on December the 30th, 2000. He was the last person killed in the city of Louisville, Kentucky that year. And I went there with his father and we went through all of that. And it's a damn shame, right? But does it really surprise you? This isn't an isolated event. What happened to Charlie Kirk? And because it was Charlie Kirk and who he was and the millions of followers that he had, somebody's going to avenge his death. So it's going to happen again. It's going to happen over and over because that's who we are as human beings. We're not capable of being kind to each other on a consistent basis. This happens over and over and over. Just because you don't get the news means nothing. Wherever we are, there's going to be murder, there's going to be rape, there's going to be destruction, corruption, robbery, assault, you name it, war, pestilence, you name it, wherever human beings are. So I send my sincerest condolences out to Charlie Kirk's family, man. I really do. As a public figure, people on YouTube, we're public figures, man. It's scary, man. This man got killed in front of his friends, his family, his supporters. I don't even think they've even caught anybody yet. But it kind of brings us over to what I want to talk about today. Anything and everything can happen in these relationships over here when you decide to get involved. Y'all know that I talk a lot about the unspoken agreement. Doesn't mean I like it. It doesn't mean I like it. But you have to go along with it. It's a way of life if you want to get involved in a relationship over here. Some people call it pay to play. It doesn't matter. You get involved with a woman over here, it's the unspoken agreement. Whether she's a typical Filipino or bar girl, you got to pay. But I tell you what, is it fair? Absolutely not. It's not fair. Somebody's going to get their heart broke. It always happens. When it doesn't happen, I'm surprised. But whenever human beings are involved in something, there's going to be chaos. There's going to be hurt feelings. Is it expensive? Absolutely expensive, ladies and gentlemen. But it gets old. And after a while, you get tired and you start feeling like an ATM. She gets tired and starts feeling like a prostitute. I'm just talking about the unspoken agreement as we see it on my channel and different channels, where it's that handshake. I'm going to take care of you, you take care of me. So the man's going to take care of everything financially. The woman's going to take care of you, basically, in the bedroom. But she's going to win every time, see? Because you can't screw 24 hours, 7 days a week. But you can spend 24 hours, 7 days a week. And we all have our story, if we're honest. Everybody has a story over here. Okay, and there's some people watching, that's not my experience, Calvin, yet. And, I only wish you the best, but I do know this. You will be the exception. Because eventually it's going to show its ugly head. And then you're going to, after you start getting tired of being the ATM and she gets tired of being the prostitute, you're going to try to make it work as a real relationship. And that's when the wheels are going to fall off. Raise your hand if all you've dealt with is one woman over here. Okay? Very few people have done that. Because guess what? You're from a different generation, more than likely, and you're from a different culture. She's never going to give you the same respect that she gives a Filipino man, and you're never going to give her the same respect that you give a Western woman or an American woman or a French woman or whatever it is. That's just the facts, guys. So when you come over here and these things happen to you, you spend too much money, you buy a house and a lot and it's taken from you, you can't see your children, whatever it is, you give her the visa and she runs off. All I can say is, I warned you. I told you so. See? But y'all not listening because everybody wants to be the exception. There's very few exceptions over here. And this goes for the men and the women. But there's no victims. When you sign up for that dating site, you know what you're getting into. And if you don't, shame on you. There's just too many examples out here for you. There's too many channels out here trying to guide you, trying to show you what to do and what not to do. So thank y'all so much for stopping by. Just a short video. We're headed to Bacolod. Our daughter's capping ceremony is tomorrow at St. Augustine College. The capping ceremony, from what I understand, she's a nursing student. She will officially become a nursing student today. I guess you have to go through certain things before they say, okay, you're official now. But it's a proud moment for Marilyn. It's a proud moment for me because I made the agreement when she was probably I've been around her since she was in the 8th grade. So when she was, I want to say the 10th or 11th grade, she said, I want to become a doctor. And I said, well, if you do your part, I'll do mine. I said, we'll do ours. Okay, and she's held up her end of the bargain, and I'm holding up my end. It's not cheap to go to a prestigious college like she's going to, but if you're going to spend money, if you're going to invest over here, that's one of the best investments. Okay, I'm just telling you. Okay. I wanted to talk about this today, man. Every day I get something in my email. I get Messenger, WhatsApp, where people are telling me something's gone wrong. And we all have a story, but people don't want to be honest. They'll hide in the shadows, or they'll say, Cal, don't tell my story. Well, I'm not going to tell your story, man. But you know what's going on, and she knows what's going on, but there's no victims, ladies and gentlemen. When you decide to either move to the Philippines or get involved in a relationship over here, you ought to know ahead of time what you're getting into. People, those days of just getting on the plane coming over here, man, are over, man. Okay, there's an agenda now. Because what happens, here's exactly what's going to happen. No matter how much you do, it's never going to be enough. And you're going to wake up one day and she's going to be treating you like she would treat anybody else. But in your heart of hearts, you're not anybody else. You know what you've done for her. That you've raised her standard of living, that you basically rescued her from a life of hell. You know this. And she's not going to appreciate you the way you think you need to be appreciated. And for a lot of us, our ego gets in the way and we say, oh, hell with it. I'm not going to go with the flow anymore. I'm tired of playing this game. And you're going to walk away. Now, on her side, it's the same thing. She's going to say, well, y'all got more dignity to this than this. Who does he think he is? I'm not a prostitute. I'm not just supposed to be at his beck and call whenever he gets ready. But see, when you look at both sides, you say, well, that's what you agreed to. That's what the unspoken agreement is. But it only works for a little while, guys. So be careful. If you think these vloggers don't know what they're talking about, a lot of us do. Most of us aren't full of shit. We've been here. We've been through the ringer, so you don't have to go through the ringer, but you're not listening. So if you're in America, if you're in the Philippines, wherever you are, find your heart to help somebody. Not a day goes by that I don't help somebody. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. We help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. And don't do anything stupid. Okay? Don't look for no sympathy over here, because if you come to me, I'm going to say, I told you so. I'm going to say, we warned you. I'm going to say, wherever human beings are, there's going to be heartbreak. There's going to be corruption. There's going to be destruction, war, death, violence, rape, whatever it is. Whatever type of mistreatment that we can put on each other, it's going to be there. These aren't isolated events. We send our sincerest condolences to the family of Charlie Kirk. He's no longer with us. It doesn't matter if you liked him or not. What happened to him is a damn shame, but it happens over and over in our world, in this world we live in, guys, because we're human beings. There's nothing divine about us. This is all we're capable of doing. That's, if I wasn't telling the truth, it would stop. We got all these religions out here. We got all these philosophies. It's not enough to stop us. We're headed for self-destruction. We're already there.